Hey guys, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. Today I want to run you through this beautiful, simple, elegant Christmas card. It is the card that we're going to be making for Coffee and a Card this Wednesday in my Chicago area home studio. I wanted to make this card because it is a fun sneak peek. I love to see stuff first and share what I can with you first. The stamp set that this card features is Carols of Christmas. It's brand new from Stampin' Up. Demonstrators can pre-order it right now. New demonstrators who join my team this month can have this stamp set for free with their starter kit, and it will be available to everyone else starting September 1st. The Christmas in July promotion includes an essentials gift pack made up of 2 D blocks from Stampin' Up, grid paper, paper snips, best scissors I've used, snail adhesive, a bone folder, and this Carols of Christmas stamp set. It's a $72 value for the Essentials gift pack, and it costs $99 to join Stampin' Up. So the $99 starter kit, it was $125 worth of product, plus $72 in bonuses, including the brand new Carols of Christmas stamp set that you cannot get any other way until September 1st, is a phenomenal value. It is the best value in the catalog. If you've got questions about joining Stampin' Up, if there's anything that I can do for you, please email me, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. I'd love to talk to you about what it means to be a part of the kitchenettes. I'd also love to talk to you about what it means to be a demonstrator for Stampin' Up and about the starter kit and how it is absolutely no obligation. It's a great value, no strings attached. All right, let's get into this gorgeous Deck the Halls Christmas card. Besides the Carols of Christmas, you will also need, are you ready for another sneak peek of the holiday catalog? The Card Front Builder Thinlits dies. We're gonna use this fun border die, and I'm gonna show you how I did that to create this gorgeous die cut frame on the card. We're going to use these. These are available in the current annual catalog. They are the boxwood wreaths embellishments. These are just adorable. They're these itty bitty little wreaths. Now the fun part about these is you can absolutely unroll this, stretch it out, and have like a string of garland, which would be beautiful on any of your holiday cards or tags or projects. All right, so we've got one of our little boxwood wreaths. We also are going to be using some of our basic jewels, a little length of this double-stitched cherry cobbler ribbon. On one side of this ribbon, we've got little X's. On the other side, it's a double stitch. And what we'll do is, while I've got this out, let's just tie a little bow real quick. I don't know what I've got there, maybe 4 inches, and I'm just gonna make a loop. No twisting, just pinch and make a loop. Then we'll bring the ribbon back over index finger, and then I've got my index finger here to my index finger, and we'll just push the ribbon right through that hole that we created and pull. Now we'll hold the knot, pull the tails, and that'll give you some smaller loops. Now you'll notice that we've got the double stitch, the double stitch, and the double stitch, but this tail right here has a different pattern, so we're gonna turn that over and pull tight one more time. Now you'll see we've got all the same double stitch pattern on all of our elements for the bow here. All right, now let's cut off the excess here. We'll liberate it from the roll and move that out of the way. All right, dampen pad for this project is the basic black. Let me grab a couple of glue dots and we're gonna put this bow right on our wreath while we've got it. Okay, so I find that the wreath is a little resistant to adhesive. I'll be honest with you about that and say I'm using glue dots, but I'm gonna use 3 glue dots to put this bow on the wreath. I might, at Coffee and Card, have my hot glue gun out and ready to use with this little wreath. For some reason, it just does not necessarily want to keep the glue dots. Now, if you look at the card, I embellished the wreath with all those cute little bling embellishments, and those are sticking on just fine. But if you're thinking about these little boxwood wreaths, maybe consider using your hot glue gun to adhere bows or to adhere them to the card. Consumable pieces for this card are super simple. I've got a 4 1/4 by 11 Whisper White card base. You can use the thick Whisper White here if you like. I don't have any right now, so I'm using the regular one, and it stands up nicely. It really is doing okay. And then I've got a piece of Whisper White that's 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to take the 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to lay this framelit so that it is even all the way around. We want kind of a nice, even, straight border, and I've got some low tack tape here. It's a little piece of washi tape. I am going to tape that down. I don't want it to move when I die cut it. I have noticed that the horizontals don't like to cut through quite as readily as the verticals, so I'm going to run it back and forth. So it's dawned on me that every big shot is calibrated just a little bit differently. So if you're finding that you're having trouble with your verticals cutting better than your horizontals, you can always try a little one sheet of copier paper. Sometimes that'll just tighten up your sandwich a little bit. I just tried rotating my die 90 degrees to see if that helps with my cutting through, and it looks like it did. It made a difference. So now you'll see just rotating my die 1/4 of a turn has made the horizontals and the verticals cut through smoothly. So sometimes you just got to play with it a little bit. This is a fantastic detail die, and sometimes with those in each individual machine you got to do a little bit of problem solving. But look at that, we got this gorgeous little frame now. Okay, so we've got our sample here and card base. What we want to do now is do our stamping. I've got this gorgeous Deck the Halls image and basic black ink. I'm going to ink it up, and then I am going to practice and make sure that I'm stamping straight. Nothing's going uphill or downhill. So I'm going to use my grid paper for that. Comes with the new starter kits this month. You can see on the grid paper that my sentiment is going downhill slightly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it off the block, and using the grid paper I'm going to line it up as close as I'd imagine is to on one of those grid lines, and then I'm going to pick it up with the block and take a look at the image that it left. Now it's looking like the H is a little bit downhill from the S, so I'm going to keep that in mind as I ink up and stamp the next time. So it goes uphill just the tiniest bit. Using my grid paper, I'm going to put the block downhill the tiniest bit. And now you'll see I've stamped right along that grid line. It's perfect. So using the grid paper, you can really kind of calibrate where it is that your stamp is stamping, and you can avoid some of those uphill and downhill sentiments on your cards. I can't stand the downhill sentiment. Okay, so we've got our card, and now I'm going to put that so that it runs along the grid lines. So I know that there's a nice 90-degree angle here, and everything is all square. So now I can use the grid paper to position my stamp. So I'm going to use the vertical lines this time and the edge of the block. I'm going to look for center, and then I'm just going to turn the slightest bit. Give my ink some time to transfer, especially on a bold sentiment like this. There we go. Perfect Deck the Halls. It's not uphill, it's not downhill. It's running right across that card nice and straight. We're going to need lots of dimensionals here, so I'm going to grab this piece and I'm going to pull off this whole edge right here. I'm going to go straight around and just get all of that excess, and then I'm going to chop it up into smaller chunks and use that to support the back. Okay, I've removed all the backing from my dimensionals. Got my card. Let's make sure it opens on top before we add the this panel and we're gonna center this on the front of the card so that we have an even margin all the way around. Again, here's where you could grab a hot glue gun and it wouldn't hurt to, you know, put a couple of drops of hot glue. I think it might save you a couple of glue dots in the long run. All right, got lots of those. We're gonna center it under the sentiment. And then the last step here, I've got these pretty little basic rhinestone basic jewels. And I want to use this smaller size here. I've got them left on the continuous line, so I'm just gonna cut them up. I don't know if the new style Basic Gems has those. I'm gonna take one of the larger ones and add it, stick it right down to my wreath, and then I'm gonna take one of the smaller ones and kind of put it close to. Then I'm going to do that 2 more times. I want 6 little gems on this wreath. There it is. I want it to be really blingy. Okay guys, there it is. Deck the Halls. It's a clean, simple, elegant holiday card. If you've got any questions about this project, or you've got questions about joining Stampin' Up! On the Kitchen Table Stamper team, if you'd like to get your hands on Carols of Christmas before it's available to anybody else, email me, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. Thanks for watching.